This one college hoops tip-off is sponsored by Ford. Going further so you can. Christmas right around the corner, but first we have basketball on a Friday night and even Santa in the house for the Providence Friars and the Sacred Heart Pioneers. Hello everyone, Rich Ackerman along with Vin Parisi and Vin. Conference play right around the corner beginning next week, and right now all the Friars want for Christmas is to get healthy.
Absolutely, Rich, and Ed Cooley would want a W as well. They've lost 2 out of the last 3, but now they need some confidence as Big East Conference plays right around the corner.
As we mentioned, health has been a concern for the Friars. Ed Cooley has gone with 6 different starting lineups through the first 13 games, and this one the same as Wednesday when the Friars lost to Houston. Rodney Bullock, though, had a terrific game for the Pioneers of Sacred Heart. The man in the middle, Joseph Lopez, a preseason All-NEC selection. Fans on their feet, as they usually are. The tradition here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. They are on their feet until the first Providence basket as we are set to go. And we are underway as Providence controls the tip. Here's Makai Ashton Langford, the freshman. Kyron Cartwright sitting out tonight with the ankle injury. One of many for this Friars team. And Isaiah Jackson bumped. And we have a foul in the first possession.
Well, you're right about that. I mean, just that is an understatement. Ed Cooley's Friars, the walking wounded.
Sean Hohen called for the foul. Ashton Langford on the pull-up. A little tight rim. Rims out, and the rebound to Joseph Lopez. Cha-Cha Tucker, the unorthodox release, and he's off the mark and pulled down by Ashton Langford. Down low, Watson is hit hard by Lopez and draws the foul. So there's a look at the Providence benches. Again, it's been like a mash unit so far. They've had injuries to 4 of their top players so far through the first 12 games.
We just saw Kyron Cartwright, and that's the big one right now. Ed Cooley's point guard and leader, trying to get him healthy before conference play.
Suffered an ankle injury against Boston College and then aggravated that on Sunday against Stony Brook. And Rodney Bullock, coming off a season-high 24 on Wednesday, knocks down the 3.
That's what Ed Cooley told us earlier today, Rich. Look for Bullock's number to be called quite often tonight.
Inside and rejected by Bullock, doing it at both ends. Friars looking to push.
Nice pass to the corner.
Isaiah Jackson knocks down the 3-pointer.
Lindsey could have taken it. It would have been a good shot, a better shot with the one more pass to the corner.
Nice pass from Kinnan LaRose to Sean Hohen, and the first points of the night for the Pioneers nearly a minute and a half in.
I always felt Jalen Lindsey and Rodney Bullock were guys that it was important for them to get buckets before that first media timeout or 2. Really dictated the rest of their ball game.
Both seniors. Here's Lindsey from beyond the arc. They're 3 for 3 from 3-point range to start things off and have a 7-point lead.
They are whipping that basketball around the perimeter. No wasted dribbles. Multiple Friars touching it in a matter of seconds.
Down low, Mario Matasevic backing his way in. Nice pump fake by Matasevic, the turnaround jumper. Around and out, and Makai Ashton Langford with his second rebound as he throws it over to Bullock and gets it back.
A solid job by the undersized Langford defending the post down low in the paint.
Bullock, nice fake, uses the glass and draws the foul and will go to the line.
We'll take all injuries and chemistry issues because of Ed Cooley having to use so many different lineups these first 2 months of the season, Rich aside. There is a reason why Rodney Bullock was preseason All-Big East second team. It's because of that right there, his versatility. Not many guys in the country on that size can give you that type of face-up game.
And the last thing that Anthony Latino wanted was Joseph Lopez picking up 2 fouls a little more than 2 minutes in. As he picked up that one.
I'm sorry, and then throw that on top of being down a quick 10. 2.5 minutes in.
Sacred Heart coming in at 5 and 7 and off back-to-back losses. Tucker trying to shake Bullock.
Nice switch.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Down low, Matasevic. And that one rejected, and a shot clock violation as it did not hit the rim. Here's a look at Ed Cooley, now in his 7th season as the head coach of the Providence Friars, and what a job he has done here, really just raising the bar and a standard of excellence. 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances, 4 straight 20-win seasons.
One of the great personalities of college basketball, to say the least.
Khalif Young called for the walk, and Anthony Latina in his 5th season at Sacred Heart. And this is a tough time of the year for a team in the Northeast Conference as it looks to build confidence and try to get through November and December to get to conference play.
Yeah, you know, with them it's a process. Preseason picked 5th for the Northeast Conference and trying to get their feet underneath them for those.
Hone with a nice move, but Bullock may have gotten a piece of that. Here's Lindsay, and Lindsay thought about it. Down low, Young the turnaround off the nice feed from Makai Ashton Langford.
Once again, turning down a good shot to get a great shot. I love Lindsay sprinting up the sidelines, though, and letting it fly in transition. When his feet are set, an excellent 3-point shooter in transition.
And another turnover for Sacred Heart. And not the start that Anthony Latino was looking for, as they are down by 12 as we look at our keys for success.
And we're looking at Rodney Bullock. Sacred Heart needs to have a game plan versus Rodney Bullock. Can't let him get off tonight. Ed Cooley's going to ride Mr. Bullock for sure. And for Providence, it's clear this team has not been shooting the basketball well. They're not scoring it either. Find other ways to score. Offensive rebounding, easy buckets in transition, and then high percentage looks like that.
Can't beat that, although he could not get it to falls, but Khalif Young will go to the line for a pair. And it fouls on Kinnan LaRose. So Khalif Young, the big 6'9" sophomore out of Ontario, and he's a guy that really has to start to raise his game a little more. I know it's asking a lot of a sophomore, but with all the injuries, and especially the season-ending one to Emmett Holt, they're going to need the big guys down low.
No question. You know, Emmett Holt's injury has put a lot more pressure on Young's shoulders, and they're going to need that size, and they're going to need some production down there in January and February for sure.
Holt out for the season with abdominal issues, underwent surgery, and will redshirt, but a big loss. Davon Barnett off the bench for Sacred Heart, and immediately he's called for the travel. So a terrific start for the Providence Friars, looking to end non-conference play on a high note, and Rodney Bullock doing it all. The Friars up by 12. Providence playing without several players tonight, one of whom is Kyron Cartwright, who re-injured his ankle Sunday against Stony Brook on that play, and it hurts just to look at it.
Yeah, he's just been battling injuries throughout these first 2 months. There was the ankle injury back in November against Boston College. He played with that nagging for several games, and just nagging injuries all around.
And he's not alone, as we mentioned. Emmett Holt done for the season. Both Alpha Diallo and Malik White were injured against Brown back on December 6th. White has yet to return. Diallo played on Wednesday, but was really ineffective and might see some action tonight, but it's still a game time decision, if you will, then. And Drew Edwards just into the game, fouled down low.
Well, as Ed Cooley said earlier this afternoon at shoot-around, he said, listen, it's a good time of the year to be injured, per se. November, December, but now we're a week away. Conference wars are about to begin, so we need to get these guys healthy, and as you mentioned earlier, all of those lineups, you know, we need chemistry and fluidity heading into opening weekend.
Edwards knocks down the first free throw after the foul by E.J. Anosicki, who just checked in, and Nate Watson coming back in for the Friars. But what all these injuries, you know, affect is not only the rotations, but guys trying to establish their roles and knowing what their roles are going to be. And some guys have to expand their roles, and it's tough to figure out early on, as Edwards does a nice job of making it 16-2 with a pair of free throws.
And the Friars have battled severe injuries before. You look the last few years when they've had their Chris Dunn and Bryce Cotton teams. Ed Cooley has played 5, 6, 7 guys short rotations, but that's when he had more experience. He's relying on young guys now who just aren't ready to give him those big-time performances yet, he said.
Anasiki going to the fadeaway, and still a very slow start for the Pioneers, who are 1 of 7.
I'll tell you, no Cartwright, though, but the Providence Friars 4 assists on their first 5 field goals. The ball movement, especially whipping it around on reversals, has been excellent.
We talked about players needing to elevate their roles, and certainly I guess it's been a collaborative effort so far, as Makai Ashton Langford getting set to check back in. Lindsay off the mark from 3, and Asiki the rebound.
Not out of the rhythm of their offense. Challenge shot, just rose up and shot the basketball, wasn't in rhythm.
And Anasiki was bumped, and it's going to be on Watson. Right now the Pioneers just need an easy basket to try to get back into this, get some confidence, and that's been a big part of this start for this team, according to Anthony Latina. The shots just have not been falling for them over the last couple of games. Says he knows they go down because he sees it in practice, but the game has been a much different story. And another turnover for Sacred Heart, a team that has really cut down on them in the last couple of weeks, but it's been a rough start for the Pioneers so far tonight. That's their 3rd in the first 5 minutes and change.
Yeah, this Sacred Heart team plays very hard. They've only been out-rebounded once. They will battle for Anthony Latina, but they just had way too many stretches these first 2 months of the season where they don't shoot it well on the perimeter at all.
And Watson just picks up his 2nd foul, so back into the game quickly is Khalif Young. The one thing about Watson, he has great potential, but still learning the college game, and picks up a foul right there and goes to the bench.
We talked about that rebounding margin. Now Watson goes to the bench, Young in. Let's see if the Pioneers could hold their own on the backboards.
Pone trips and turns it over. And here comes Jackson into the front court. 4th turnover in the first 6 minutes for the Pioneers. Bullock going one-on-one. Bullock showing the moves, but comes up short. Gets his own rebound, though. Nice job by Bullock to follow the shot.
Well, there were more red jerseys down there than there were silver, but just 2nd effort hustle by Bullock, which is going to get his teammate Young a couple from the charity stripe.
LaRose picks up his 2nd, so 2 starters already with 2 fouls for Sacred Heart. Lopez and LaRose. 17 foul already, so Providence in the bonus already. A little more than 6 minutes in.
I don't think the Pioneers have been careless or committed silly fouls. They've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time because of the size and strength advantage of the Friars front line.
Zacharias just off the bench with the rebound and brings it into the front court. 17-2, a 15-point lead for Providence early. A terrific start for the Friars, and another turnover. And this one is going to be an alternate possession, and it'll be Sacred Heart basketball.
Well, nice job of splitting the defense there that time by Hohen. Just lost control of the basketball on dribble penetration.
And the maintenance crew comes on to wipe up the slick spot.
Very quick feet by them, Rich.
You got to be in this game, right? Nice feed inside, and Rads had it rejected. And here come the Friars quickly. Down low, Young doing a nice job of establishing position. And an easy 2.
Ed Cooley said Langford's got to continue to learn how to be a point guard. That was a beautiful pass.
19-2. The Friars on top. Lopez spinning and still nothing falling. 1 of 9 so far. Here's Bullock with a good look. Around and out. Run down by Lopez.
I think Ed Cooley's going to give Bullock a blow here and go back to Lindsay.
Rats with a big trigger right there. Jackson with an easy rebound. And Langford will reset. How about a little different look for Sacred Heart with Barnett? A little bigger player trying to stop the ball.
Switch back to Bullock.
Jackson.
Oh, might have got away with one.
He did, but comes up short. Lopez the rebound and had it knocked loose, but recovers.
And a little off-arm shove like you have, Rich, when I sit too close to you here, press row.
And in a little space, I have a lot of notes. Rads thought about the three. Spin move and hits. Finally ends the drought for Sacred Heart. They are just 2 of 10 from the field. 8 minutes in. A 19-4 Providence lead. Final non-conference game for the Friars, who come in at 8-4 after losing to Houston on Wednesday night.
See, possessions like that is where you can see all the different lineups Cooley's had to play. That chemistry out of the half court's just not there.
Barnett off the mark. And another rebound for Jackson.
There's that flex offense that Cooley loves to run since his time as an assistant coach. Beautiful pass out of the high post, big to guard. Ed Cooley was a longtime Boston College assistant for Al Skinner, who was known for that flex offense along the baseline.
And Young found Edwards, but at the other end is Owen, and it's 21-6 and a quick timeout. So a terrific start for the Providence Friars, up 21-6, but not only doing at the offensive end, also the defensive end, and up big. Welcome back to the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Providence up big on Sacred Heart, 21-6. Davon Barnett, before the break, took a big shot to the throat, and the officials went back and looked to check for a flagrant one. As you get another look at it.
You know what? From that angle, if they watch that angle, that's excessive. That's an elbow.
And Drew Edwards. It was not called for the foul at the time, but again, that can be reviewed, and they did during the break, and was assessed the flagrant one. So,
and listen, you have to make an effort to get around screens. You can't just body and fight through screens, but obviously the excessive contact above the shoulders is what did it for Edwards.
And as you said, the key being the excessive contact above the shoulder. So Davon Barnett will go to the line to shoot the technical free throw.
And Ed Cooley's having a conversation with Gaffney, but I think if Ed saw those replays from the angles we just saw, he would agree.
John Gaffney, part of the officiating crew tonight, which includes Earl Walton and Brian Dorsey. And Barnett hits 1 of 2, so 21-7. And again, the elbow came up.
Well, you know, coaches in college basketball, you're always yelling to the kids, fight through screens, don't get screens. But fighting through a screen means being physical, bodying up to your man, going over or under. You can't go through a guy.
And keeping the hands and arms down, which Drew Edwards did not. And gets called for the flagrant one. So a little more than 9 minutes into this first half, the Friars with a 14-point lead. Jackson with the pull-up and gets the nice roll.
Well, they went to the zone offense that you and I saw a couple weeks ago at St. John's that Anthony Latina likes, and there's no better place to flash than in that sweet spot just below the foul line.
Right now, Sacred Heart's just trying to work for a good shot, but there just has been nothing so far for this team. Inside 10 on the shot clock. Tucker trying to lose Langford. Down to 5. Lopez from 3, and that's not his shot, but it does come out right to him. So a new 30 for the Pioneers, down 23-7. Lopez putting it on the floor.
Nice footwork by Young getting out there on the perimeter.
Lopez fouled, it'll go to the line.
Now they got to help the big fella on the backside with their help side defense in the paint, though.
The foul is on Mekhi Ashton Langford, his first.
Watch this, the big fella gets dragged out. Boom, Jackson should be down there already, and Lopez beating him to the inside.
So Lopez, the leading scorer for the Pioneers at over 13 a game, has not shot well from the free throw line, but that one goes in. Just a 43% shooter from the line coming in. Cuts the deficit to 13, a little more than midway through this first half. Rich Ackerman, Vin Parisi with you from the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Final non-conference game for the Providence Friars. The steal by Watson, and boy, Lindsay got away with one there.
That one's going to drive Ed Cooley and the staff crazy because that was just a float pass. Angle wasn't there. There was no pop on the chest pass.
An 8-2 run by Sacred Heart to cut the deficit to 11. Edwards took off.
Better know if you're going to shoot it or pass it when you leave the floor.
He was thinking a couple of things, and that was his undoing.
We've had Nate Watson on the bench for a while, obviously. Jalen Lindsay came out early, had to come back in. Ed Cooley's had to continue to shuffle.
Again, no Kyron Cartwright tonight. Malik White remains out, and Alfred Diallo has not seen any action yet. Off the steal, Langford rather lost it. Here's Rads. But he has a quick trigger off the bench, Alec. Rads.
Well, you see the versatility defensively that Providence has at the other end. Lindsay and Bullock are able to switch all ball screen action.
Jackson left alone. Langford for three, short. And Alex Watson, the freshman, with a rebound.
Well, Cooley's frustrated on the sidelines. They're just not getting high percentage looks at all.
Matasovic, who's been quiet so far, using the glass and hits. Mario Matasovic, his first points of the night. 23-14. The Friars now in front. Bullock steps into one and hits.
Ball movement's not pretty, but Ed Cooley will let Rodney Bullock take that shot all night.
He now has 9 after that three-pointer. Nice backdoor cut. Good ball movement. And Watson from 3. Took the Pioneers a little while to get going, but now they start to feel in rhythm here the last couple of possessions, it seems, Vin.
Well, you know, you can be unselfish, you can share the rock, you can whip it around the perimeter. Eventually, especially late in the shot clock, you got to make some shots. Providence, Rodney Bullock, trailing three-pointer. They're going to need more of Mr. Bullock moving forward.
Center, Providence up on Sacred Heart by 9. It was a tough start for the Pioneers, but the last 4 minutes, they've really come on. They've hit 6 of their last 9 from the field and have scored 15 points.
No doubt about it. Couldn't throw it in the ocean early, and we're sharing the basketball. They were getting good ball reversals. I thought that Anthony Latina's club had solid spacing out of their half-court offense. They like to push the pace. Now shots are finally dropping for the Pioneers.
And the bench, Alex Watson hit a 3 a couple of moments ago, but the benches has given them a spark here. Zach Rad's not afraid to shoot. He's shot a couple of three-pointers, and Davon Barnett, who took the inadvertent elbow from Drew Edwards, which resulted in the flagrant one, he's given them a spark too as well.
Hey, you know, you mentioned this earlier about the non-conference battles when you're a school like Sacred Heart. This is where that bench production is solid for Anthony Latina. He learns more about his ball club, because in January and February, when you need a bucket, you're battling out Wagner. He learns more about his guys.
Watson called for the carry, saw another turnover, and that has been an issue after we said the last 4 games they had averaged only 10 turnovers a game. They already have 6 in this first half.
And now look, now Bullock's going to play with Young down low. Now Edwards is going to run the point. Once again, a different look offensively for PC.
Jackson puts it on the floor, a little too strong, but there's Young to clean it up. Khalif Young with 7 points. He'd averaged just 3 over his last 8 games.
And they're not lighting it up in the offense department at all. Ed Cooley says they will have stretches.
Nice pass, but there's Bullock again with a big play defensively.
They'll have stretches where they don't shoot the basketball great on the perimeter, but they got to manufacture points, and Young's doing it on the offensive glass. This is just great timing defensively. More importantly, Bullock being in the right position to help.
3rd block already for Bullock, who's had a terrific first half. Doing it, as we mentioned, at both ends. The steal by Edwards. 7th turnover for the Pioneers. The impressive part about Bullock offensively, though, he has not really forced anything. He's been in the flow of the offense here.
Yeah, and we've seen him in 3 or 4 different scenarios. We've seen back to the basket post moves. We've seen face up out of the high post. We've seen transition.
Lindsay flying in for the putback off the miss by Edwards, and it's 30-17.
Lindsay doesn't muscle you, but he's a sneaky offensive rebounder like that sometimes.
Matasevich at the other end, just going right at the big fella, Khalif Young.
Crafty.
At the other end, it's becoming a battle here. Bullock finds the seam, scored and the foul.
Bullock is like a post player in a guard's body, and the ball goes down to the big fella Young on the block. And you always want the opposite big to dive. And Bullock's not a true big all the time, but that's the angle to perfection. Not enough red jerseys in the paint. Solid execution.
Great read by Bullock, and how about the quickness? He has 11, can't hit the free throw off the foul by Watson, and it remains 32-19 with just over 6 minutes left in this first half. It's been Providence throughout, and a kick ball by Bullock. A little slow developing here. I say, if you don't want the ball, we'll take it. Cohen to inbound. Cohen taking it himself, but short.
He's worried about the defense there. He's got to be worried about making the layup.
Anthony Latina says he's so competitive that sometimes it's a little counterproductive. He puts so much pressure on himself and wants to score so badly that it just takes away or distracts. Here's Hohen working hard on Edwards. Barnett. A little too strong on that one. And the rebound to Jackson. Lindsay squared up. In and out. Matasevich with the rebound.
It's a high percentage look for Lindsay, though. Nice cross.
Charles shot Tucker. Putting it in for Sacred Heart to make it an 11-point game. That's his first basket of the night.
That was a cha-cha crossover. Beautiful left to right. Change of speed, change of direction in transition.
Got the nickname from his mother, who said when she was pregnant he was moving around so much he was doing the cha-cha. I just thought it was an abbreviation of Charles. But apparently not. As Bullock fouled and will go to the line.
Look at this. Boom. He set him up with the appetizer first between the legs right to left, and then came the entree, Rich.
Outstanding move by Tucker. As he caught Langford, the freshman, with the move, and Alex Watson with his second. So a quick 2 for Watson. He goes to the bench. Rads comes back in. And Chris Robinson, the senior out of the Bronx, into the game. Played at Cardinal Hayes, did Robinson, with Shavar Newkirk. What a game he had against St. John's the other day. 26 points for St. Joseph's.
They've put out a lot of talent the last few years.
Tucker taking off, this time a little too strong though, and Langford is fouled. It looked like Matasevich got a piece of him, and he did.
And the problem for Anthony Latina's ball club now, Rich, is whether it's at a transition or the half court, it's one and done. It's make or miss. There's not red jerseys attacking the offensive glass right now for second efforts or to manufacture buckets.
The double bonus now for Providence as Langford will go to the line. So Makai Ashton Langford, the 6'3" freshman, getting quality minutes due to the injuries of both Kyron Cartwright and Malik White. A terrific talent, and at least this gives them an opportunity to get their feet wet before the heavy stuff comes.
No question.
1 of 2 for Ashton Langford, and the rebound to Chris Robinson.
You don't want to get thrown into the fire in this league in late January or early February, to say the least. Here comes a double.
Davon Barnett picks up his dribble. Again, no easy shots here, and a turnover is a little miscommunication between Barnett and Tucker. How much has Providence's length bothered Sacred Heart so far?
Took the words right out of my mouth, and it's the length on the perimeter. Forget about some of the size advantages on the front line. You just see the difference between some of Ed Cooley's guards and the Pioneer guards right now.
The turnover, the steal by Rads. Robinson quickly the other way and rejected by Jackson. And Matasovic, though, able to put it back in. 6 blocks so far for the Friars in this first half with 4 minutes left. Bullock again from 3. And the rebound to Matasovic.
They love that little shovel throwback. Bullock loves the trailing three-pointer out of the transition break.
The Pioneers looking to close within single digits on this possession. They go to Matasovic down low. A little too strong on that pass attempted for Barnett.
They tried to move and give him options out of the post, but just too clogged up.
Edwards alone for 3 and hits.
Feet set in time, and Edwards very capable when he has enough room.
Nice job by Isaiah Jackson to find Edwards all alone, and he extends the lead back up to 14. Matasovic. Nice pass for Rads. And the easy 2 for Zach Rads. He now has 4. And it's a 12-point game with just under 3 minutes left in this first half. Providence playing without Kyron Cartwright. And Malik White, once again, due to injuries, has led throughout. And Edwards has had a strong first half with baskets on back-to-back possessions. He now has 9.
Well, Ed Cooley will send guards to flash just below the foul line out of their zone offense. Not just big guys, and at times Edwards came through. But what's coming through for Sacred Heart on the backboards, the block party continues in Friartown, but they're battling.
Donut Center, it's been all Providence so far as the Friars lead by 14, and it's been a big first half at both ends of the floor for Rodney Bullock, who's leading all scorers with 12.
No doubt about it, and one of the biggest reasons why Ed Cooley's club is shooting nearly 52% from the field. They're getting it done defensively inside, but Bullock's getting some high percentage looks at the other end.
Speaking of high percentage looks, Sacred Heart could use a little more. They started by missing 9 of their first 10, came on, but overall for this first half, and the Providence defense has played a big part, and the Pioneers just 11 of 29 from the field so far.
Yeah, you know what, I thought Anthony Latina, though, made a good little adjustment there. When he saw that they weren't shooting it well, they tried to battle more in the paint. They've only taken 5 3-pointers out of their 29 shots. Now they just need some of these to drop.
And Lopez fouled by Young. So he'll go to the line.
They're not living and dying behind the arc.
So that is the second on Young. And Nate Watson, the Friars' other big man, also has 2. So fouls a concern up front for Providence with 2.5 minutes left in this first half. And again, an opportunity squandered for Lopez as E.J. Anasiki comes back in, replacing Mario Matasovic.
When the frustrating part for Cooley is it's not so much about the scoreboard in this particular night in game, Rich. It's about Nate Watson's continued development that Ed Cooley needs for conference play in January and February. Instead, he's sitting on the bench for almost an hour.
Again, as we mentioned, due to the injuries, some of the freshmen and younger players getting an outstanding chance to get minutes. And there's the senior Lindsay with another 3-pointer.
He doesn't hesitate and just rises and shoots when those feet are set. As good as any shooter in this league.
Lopez with an array of moves down low. Can't finish, but the tip by Robinson. A 14-point game with just under 2 minutes left. Bullock off the mark from 3, and we'll go back to the Pioneers.
I think if you're the top defender for Sacred Heart, you got to just extend out. Nate Bullock put it on the deck. He loves that trailing 3.
So down by 14 with just under 2 minutes left. What does Sacred Heart do to try to make this a little more competitive at the half?
I think you got to stay aggressive, try to get more looks to the inside, and did a good job at that. I think send another guy to the offensive glass. There's a lot of times where Lopez doesn't get enough help on the interior on missed shots.
Here's Lopez, a little too strong, and that's good hustle. Rads tried, but the outstretched arms of Bullock was able to snare that one. Lindsay again from 3. Back-to-back threes for Jalen Lindsey. He has 11, and quickly Anthony Latina calls for time.
Besides layup and dunks, two ways the Friars are going to burn you in transition. Rodney Bullock with trailing threes at the top, and Jalen Lindsey sprinting up the sidelines.
Lindsey 3 for 3 from three-point range. He has 11. Lindsey has helped extend this Providence lead to 17 with 1:21 left. A big first half for the seniors. Rodney Bullock with 12 and Jalen Lindsey with 11.
When you talk about a player's bread and butter, that is Jalen Lindsey's bread and butter. Friars pushing the basketball middle on the break, and Lindsey able to sprint up the sidelines and get those feet set and catch and shoot three-point situations.
Down low, Tommy Platek just into the game, and an injured Pioneer down at the other end.
Crowd favorite.
And now we have the injury timeout, and looks like Zach Rads got one in the gut.
Yes.
And onto the floor come the training staff.
I think he got the wind knocked out of him.
It's a tough call. I think he got a knee there.
Hard backdoor cut, and it looks like Platek just catches him with his lower body and hip into that lower area stomach. Yeah, he knocked the wind out of him. He's trying to catch his breath. Ed Cooley immediately waved down Sacred Heart's trainer at the other end.
As somebody who played a lot as a youth, you know, when that happens, how tough is it, because you're just waiting for it to come back. Holding a rib, though.
Well, that's what you hope, that you're not talking about damage or severe injuries to the ribs, and this is a good sign that he's standing up this quickly on his own.
And he took it in a couple of places, but it seems that the midsection is the one that got him. So the 6'2" sophomore will go to the bench with Sacred Heart down 47-28, but fortunately looks to be okay right now. And again, just a couple of seconds ago, we talked about how did the Pioneers keep it competitive before half. It's now a 19-point lead after the Jalen Lindsey's three-pointers.
When it just shows you how much the three-point shot, Rich, affects college basketball. They go on that mini run. Bullock and Lindsey back-to-back threes opens it up, and all of a sudden the scoreboard looks a lot different as we're 60 seconds away from a break.
And we talked about Sacred Heart not hitting from three-point range early, and they've gone away from that. But again, they've been bottled up inside too. Davon Barnett hits over Bullock.
I needed that one to drop, because you can see multiple size advantages for the Friars at most positions here.
Under 30 seconds left first half. The Friars have led throughout. A 17-point lead right now as Bullock looking to add to it. Nice little jump hook.
That's too easy.
And Bullock with 14 in this first half, after having 24 in Wednesday's loss. Final 10 seconds. Hone from three and hits. Sean Hone, and his foot was on the line, and only goes for two, and the heave off the mark, and that'll do it for the first half. Rodney Bullock with 14 of the 49 for the Friars, most points in a first half this season. Coming up, the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report with Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, and Jimmy Jackson. The Friars up by 17. Providence, Rhode Island, where at the half, the Friars with a 17-point lead over the Pioneers from Sacred Heart. What a first half it was for Rodney Bullock and the Friars.
Well, they're undermanned with all of their injuries, and Ed Cooley told us earlier at the shoot-around today, I'm going to be calling Rodney Bullock's number often this evening, and he has. But other Friars have stepped up at times. Lindsey, but Bullock has been the man for Ed Cooley.
Bullock 6 of 11 from the field, and for a team that's without two guards in Kyron Cartwright and Malik White, they've done very well with forcing turnovers and also taking care of the ball.
They're taking care of the ball and assists off the majority of their buckets. But how about Bullock? 16 points in 19 minutes, and more importantly, Rich, only 1 turnover.
And 3 blocks. So again, doing it at both ends. He's had an outstanding night, coming off the 24-point performance on Wednesday, which was a season high. And right now, with a strong start to the second half, can surpass that one.
Came up short Wednesday night at Mohegan Sun against Houston, but the coaching staff loved how Bullock battled in that one.
So not only Cartwright and Malik White both out, but Alpha Diallo, who is dressed tonight, has not seen any action yet, also nursing an ankle injury. Here's Watson, who had 2 fouls in the first half, and he quickly draws a foul from Matasovic.
See, the angles were not there. There was a secondary Sacred Heart defender that collapsed. And then this is what Ed Cooley's talking about. I need this big fella to just keep getting minutes. Stay out of foul trouble, stay on the floor, because with that comes experience, and he would have known right there that it's just not there. Kick it back out and repost.
A 60% free throw shooter. He hits the first. You look at Watson, 6'10", 260, and he can explode off the floor. The future is very bright for the 6'10" freshman, and he hits a pair to make it 51-32.
How excited was Ed Cooley talking about him before the game? I mean, it just so enthusiastic about the potential that he has for his future career here.
Well, we've talked about the opportunity for the freshmen, but you look at their potential. You see it with not only Watson, but Makai Ashton Langford. There's Jackson with the rejection, the 7th of the night for the Friars, but right back up and in, Joseph Lopez doing a nice job to clean it up. 51-34. One thing about the Friars under Ed Cooley, Ashton Langford off the mark, and there is Watson again down low. The development of players that they've had here at Providence during his 7 seasons has been terrific. As you take a look at the freshman class, Dejor Dickens has not gotten into the game just yet, but
Watson was the biggest reason, Rich. They snuck by Stony Brook in that 2-point win. 7 for 11, the big fella from the field.
And he's shown a very nice touch from the line so far, as Zach Rads had picked up the foul. Watson so far 3 of 3 from the line, and make it 4 of 4. So 53-34, Providence by 19 with a minute gone by in this second half. But whether it was Bryce Cotton, Chris Dunn, Rodney Bullock, I mean, there's been a long list of players who have developed so well during the 7 seasons under Ed Cooley.
And guys who were not thought to be shooters coming in, leaving as big-time shooters.
Lopez putting it in.
They need more aggression like that towards the cup.
Back at the other end. Man, using the muscle is Watson to put it back up and in. He has all 6 of the Friars' points in the second half.
Yeah, you talk about aggression towards the cup.
Off the mark is Hohen, and the rebound for Jackson.
His footwork is so advanced, though, for a freshman. There's that trailing 3 again.
And in and out as Kenneth LaRose able to run it down. Matasovic bounces off Watson and uses the glass. Nicely done by Mario Matasovic.
Hey, he's known for as being a very high field goal percentage guy. 60% from the field, 3rd best in the Northeast Conference. That time a high degree of difficulty look.
He has 8, 2 below his season average.
Back to the zone look.
Lindsay short on that and ripped down by Hohen. LaRose thought about the 3 and cut off by Makai Ashton Langford. Nice pass. Hohen off the reverse from the feed from Matasovic. He has 8, and quickly we have a timeout as Ed Cooley wants to talk it over. After seeing the easy basket there.
How about this? Gets caught in the air, leaving the floor. How about that backdoor cut and look?
15, the Friars are up. Providence with a 15-point lead, but a hot start to this second half for Sacred Heart, led by Mario Matasevic.
Super Mario Matasevic. I can't take credit for that one. I gotta credit our star producer. How about the big fella going fadeaway over the right shoulder off the glass? This time goes for the running jump hook against Watson, gets caught in the air, and then the beautiful backdoor cut and pass to Owen.
8 points from Matasevic, high percentage from the field. And Sacred Heart started this game 1 for 10. They've started the second half 4 for 6. And the deficit down to 15 as Mackay, Ashton Langford, and the Friars try to answer on this possession.
You got to be able to take care of both ends the way Stony Brook did last week, though, if you're going to continue to chop back and make this one a ball game.
Providence has led from the start.
Oh, Watson wants it. He had him sealed.
Ashton Langford, and run down by Hohen.
And some of their jump shots now are challenged because they're not coming out of the flow of ball reversals. Guys are just dribbling, rising, and shooting.
Anasiki looked a little indecisive and off the back end of the rim. Jackson with his feet set and hits the three.
Whole nother dimension to Jackson's game when he's able to bring that to the table for Cooley.
He has 8, and Watson called for the foul, and that's going to be his third as he bumps Anasiki.
And Watson will learn with these high-level Big East officials to move the feet, but show the hands. Show the hands and move your body. Don't get caught pushing in the hip.
LaRose, nice curl and nice pass by Hohen on the inbounds pass.
Too easy. Jalen Lindsey cannot let him cut to the inside there.
Again, as we mentioned earlier, for Sacred Heart trying to build confidence as it gets closer to Northeast Conference play. Rad's had trouble handling it. Good to see he's okay after taking a shot to the stomach in the first half. Here's LaRose from 3. High arc, but just did not go down.
More experience for Langford for interior passing. Bullock's playing down low along with Watson out of this zone offense action.
Here's Watson working on Anasiki and gets the roll. Nicely done by the freshman Nate Watson, who now has 8.
Most importantly, took his time.
And Barnett off the nice feed from Hohen.
Ed Cooley is just irate on the sidelines. You score a bucket and you give it back within 2 seconds.
How about the ball movement, though, by Sacred Heart? How many times have we said nice pass?
No, they've been sharing it. They just had too many empty possessions without an offensive rebound opportunity or able to make a perimeter shot.
Lindsey kicks it out. Down low is Bullock, and he's fouled by Anasiki, who picks up his second. Well, when in doubt, find the man who's been carrying you all night long, and that has been Bullock, coming off a season-high 24 on Wednesday. And right now, he has 16 as the Friars in front by 16. Providence looking for win number 9, up 60-44 on Sacred Heart. 2 great bowl games coming your way on Fox and FS1. Wednesday, it's the Foster Farms Bowl on Fox as Arizona takes on Purdue. Then Thursday, Washington State battles Michigan State in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl at 8:30 Eastern on FS1. What a great turnaround season for Mark D'Antonio and the Spartans as they'll take on Mike Leach, he of the new contract extension, and the Cougars of Washington State. Right here, Ed Cooley trying to get a little teaching done before
always
Big East play starts next week. They'll be at St. John's on Thursday.
Always teaching, and especially in the ear of Nate Watson, who Ed Cooley said to us earlier today he will be a household name in the world of college basketball one day soon.
Bullock's first free throw is good. That's the one nice thing about this conference from what we've seen over the last couple of years. You look at programs, whether it's Providence, Villanova, Xavier, a lot of guys staying for long periods. Not too many one-and-dones. And you've seen the development and how they've grown.
And when you're able to bring in a great class and keep them together, and look at all of the experience of the Seton Hall Pirates, that's why they're top 25 in the country right now.
Absolutely. And it looks like they got Young on the push. That would be his third. And it's going to be on Lindsey. Check that. That's his first. Seton Hall getting by Wagner on Wednesday night. You were at that game. Barnett, funny looking shot and off the mark, and it looks like we have a foul down low. And it's going to be on Isaiah Jackson. And we saw the freshmen before, now the trio of seniors, and
look, they're used to March Madness.
Absolutely. 4 straight NCAA tournament berths under Ed Cooley. First time in school history that's happened.
And the trio of these seniors able to come into that great foundation set by Bryce Cotton, and Ben Bento, and Chris Dunn and company.
LaRose hounded right now by Bullock.
Nice defense without fouling. Moving the feet, not reaching. Having active hands.
Down to 5. Barnett off the glass. He has 7. And it's a 16-point game with 6 minutes gone by in the second half.
Anthony Latino really applauding at the other end because execution late in the shot clock offensively. He's been looking for that tonight here at the dunk.
Sacred Heart, the zone has caused some problems here for Providence a little. The steal by Hohen, and he's got some numbers. And just a little too fast, but recovered by Alex Watson.
Great hustle.
Anthony Latino was looking for a foul there and didn't get one, and instead it looks like Anasiki's going to be called for one.
You know what? Anthony Latino might have a point calling for a travel. I thought Jackson tried to get up.
Yep.
Got dirty, dove on the floor for the loose ball. We see it get a little sloppy and a little crazy here. You see Isaiah Jackson not hesitate. Boom, he hits the deck and gets early. Now stay down. Went to get up for a sec.
Well, Jackson, I think, also tried to call for timeout. It was on Anasiki, and that's his 4th. So he goes to the bench with just under 13 and a half left in this second half. Bullock has been terrific so far tonight. He's fouled by Watson from behind. That's his 3rd. 5th team foul on the Pioneers.
Ooh, that's a chippy. I thought that was a lot of leather on that one from behind on Bullock, and that one was just too easy for Bullock.
As he hits over Barnett. 20 now for Rodney Bullock. Still has a ways to go before he reaches his career high of 36. But right around the corner is his season-high 24 set Wednesday night.
Well, the big fella Young is doing a much better job moving his feet with his post defense. Not trying to arm bar, getting around.
Down to 3 on the shot clock. Somebody's going to have to put it up. Lopez from 3, in and out. For a guy who's not a three-point shooter, it wasn't a bad-looking shot. It just did not fall.
Better job for Sacred Heart staying attached to Rodney Bullock for that trailing 3.
Young doubled, and the steal by Watson. And he's got numbers. 3 on 1. He leaves for home. The trailer, LaRose, and he is fouled. Beautifully done by the Pioneers.
Well, if you're a youth basketball coach at home, you want to teach your CYO team about effective transition offense, show them this clip. Multiple red jerseys, getting out, filling lanes, sharing the basketball. Most importantly, having great spacing and then drop back for the trailer.
Kenan LaRose cannot convert the three-point play, though, and it's still a 16-point game.
It's a habit that drives coaches crazy. Guys behind the basketball, stopping and not running and filling. You could always get the back pass.
Here's Bullock posting up Watson. He gets some help from Lopez. The nice feed for Edwards off the back end. And Hohen runs it down.
Heads up weak side cut by Edwards when he saw 3 jerseys on Bullock.
Barnett taking Bullock. And Lindsey the rebound. Edwards can't get it to fall. Young with the rebound. And second time no different.
I thought that was something. I thought that was either holding down Young from jumping or over the back.
Got away with it. But to no avail. It doesn't help on the scoreboard. 16-point lead for the Friars. It's been a solid second half, though, for the Pioneers.
Look at Bullock out there guarding the little guy Hohen.
Lindsay with the rebound. Edwards for Jackson. Beautifully done as those two connect on the alley-oop.
Jackson running very hard, filling the lane, and Edwards rewarding his teammate.
10 points for Jackson. That's an 18-point lead once again. Inside, Hohen bottled up, fought for on the floor, still loose, and the Friars come up with it.
This is
nice play, Jackson. And Lindsay with an open look. Way off. Young fouled, and he will go to the line.
18-point game, and we still got bodies diving all over the floor for loose basketballs, and we got guys playing hard and filling the break in transition.
Providence has led from the start, and right now is on top of Sacred Heart, 66-48. Rich Ackerman, Vin Parisi, and Isaiah Jackson doing the little things here.
Yeah, very quiet early, but really coming on recently. Look at the big-time block. That might hurt in the morning, but moving well without the basketball, running hard, filling lanes, not just behind the three-point arc. See him scoring to the inside, and Ed Cooley has said, for the time being, with our injuries, Rich, I need another guy besides Rodney Bullock to step up in the scoring department. Isaiah Jackson's averaged 5 points per game this season, 10 points, 5 boards here tonight.
To go along with 4 assists and 2 blocks as well, so he's done a little bit of everything. As we said, done very quietly, kind of forget about him a little. Yep. With the way that Bullock and Lindsay have scored, and Khalif Young hits the second, makes it 67-48 as Nate Watson comes back in. Providence with a terrific start, leading 49-32 at the half, shooting 56% in the first half. It's tailed off a lot in the second. They're 5 of 13 from the field, the Friars are. And nice down low by Matasevich. And right now, 9 of 17 the Pioneers are in this second half.
A great post feed. Had the defender on the top side. Anthony Latina wanted contact for an N1.
The steal by Alex Watson. Watson going at Makai Ashton Langford and will go to the line as he is fouled.
Ed Cooley not happy. Thought it was too nonchalant there defensively. Sprint back, take a stand, maybe take a charge. Bailed him out with the reach-in.
Third foul on Makai Ashton Langford. But again, this is the last opportunity for Ed Cooley to use these games as a teaching experience. As Watson hits the first. A freshman that Anthony Latina is very high on. Freshman class very impressive for the Pioneers. Alex Watson and E.J. Anasicki, who unfortunately is in foul trouble right now with 4, but Watson hits the free throws and it's a 15-point game.
Here's that zone that they like to go with. They'll have a 1-3-1 look to start. They match up in a 2-3 out of it.
Bullock trying to be the zone buster. And banks it in, gets the roll.
Just has such great mid-range touch. He's able to roam and has always been effective using the window.
22 for Bullock, 2 points away from matching his season high.
Well, Edwards, here's a size advantage inside. They got to watch.
Anasicki puts it on the floor and goes right at Watson and is fouled. Let's take a look, Vin, at the Jeep Grand Cherokee stats comparison. And the big 3 for Providence.
No doubt. Isaiah Jackson has come on of late. It was all Rodney Bullock in the first half, and Matasevich needs a little help in those scoring columns right now for Anthony Latina.
The only one in double figures right now. As Khalif Young comes back in, replacing Nate Watson. There's E.J. Anasicki, who Anthony Latina says is as good a player as I've ever coached. And Anasicki knocks it down, and it's 69-54, 9.5 left in this second half. Certainly when he looks to the future of his team, he says he's the guy.
Well, he's undersized, but you see his strength there out of the high post, and he's able to face you up and put it on the deck as well.
Jackson on the pull-up, a little too strong, and skying for the rebound is Rads.
His brother was a big-time player. And Sienna in the MAC.
OD, his sister wasn't too bad either. Won a championship at Tennessee.
Yes.
As Watson hits the runner.
It's in the genes.
A great basketball family, and EJ is the latest one.
Back to man for the Pioneers here.
Jackson for three.
He's feeling it.
Isaiah Jackson with 13. And he has three-pointers this evening, and the lead back up to 16.
He can get streaky in a good way, and he's playing with a high level of confidence right now.
Well, again, with all the injuries, that's a big factor right now. And the steal by Jackson. The feed for Bullock hits him in stride, and Bullock able to finish.
Applause from Ed Cooley on the sidelines, and it should be. Defense into offense. Friars playing hard, most importantly sharing the basketball, and now Jackson's waving Ed Cooley that he needs a blow.
Bullock now with 24 in back-to-back games. Anasiki putting it on the floor again and turned away by Young. The lead for Edwards. Edwards had trouble down low, and looks like we're going to get Matasevich on a reach-in.
Friars getting it done at both ends. Isaiah Jackson's been bringing it. Beautiful pass to Bullock.
Happy holidays, everyone. It's been a good night so far for the Providence Friars, who have an 18-point lead, and let's hear what's on Ed Cooley's mind.
Make sure we play defense. Make sure they're all top. Again, we're switching, we're a little smaller right here. So everybody get a tag and rebound. Tag and rebound, yes.
Well, they've been undersized several times tonight. Nate Watson had the early foul trouble. He's had some smaller lineups that they've had to juggle. And, you know, tag and rebound means, listen, when that ball goes up, you don't ball watch and just run underneath the rim and try to grab it. Go back, tag your guy, physically make contact, defensive rebound, and box out, and get all 5 silver jerseys on the defensive glass.
Tag and rebound does not work in the booth, I might add. Don't get excited. I know how physical you are under the boards. LaRoe is off the mark.
That's a good offensive board right there as the Friars trying to, they had another mismatch inside. Good switchback by Langford.
Chris Robinson had that rebound just coming into the game. Anasiki off the feed, and he's going to be called for the offensive foul, and that is going to be his 5th. As Drew Edwards took a hard blow. And I don't think he realizes yet.
You know what? Anthony Latino was complaining, saying that he was inside the arc and arguing, but you see by the replay there, Edwards got the feet just outside the arc. That was a good call.
And I think now the officials are seeing it. I guess they have stopped play. And I'm not sure if anybody else has it.
Boom. Got those feet right outside the arc.
It's Anasiki's foot inside the arc.
They should get a little extra time here on a 5th foul. 30 seconds to make the substitution.
Well, and now we're finally getting as Mario Matasevich will come back in. He has 4. So Anasiki departs with 2 points and 4 rebounds in limited action tonight.
And that's the challenge when you're playing undersized at multiple positions, that you pick up those early ones fighting for rebounds.
Coming up next, the #1 team in the nation. How about Jay Wright taking on his former school, Hofstra? He's head coach of the Pride for a long time before going to Philly, and
feels like yesterday he was at Hofstra. Now he's been at Nova almost 20 years.
Amazing how time flies. Had some great players. Speedy Claxton at Hofstra. Here's Edwards. Young on the follow. 10 for Khalif Young. 76-56, largest lead of the game for the Friars with 6:51 left. Never thought Jay Wright would leave New York City. But he went back home to Villanova, and I'd say he's done a nice job there. The dean of Big East coaches right now. Bullock hits the three and a new season high. He has 27.
You just gotta, if you're watching this tape scouting, you gotta close down that airspace. Rodney Bullock, way too much room to operate right there.
And Matasovic takes off, and he was fouled. Talked about the Wildcats. How about 4 Big East teams in the top 25 and 2 in the top 10 this week. Xavier coming in at number 9. Boy, the Musketeers, we talked about guys staying 4 years. Trayvon Blewett. Boy, those guys just really did a great job in the weight room over the summer.
He's played like he could be player of the year at times, and any one of those teams could make a run to the Final Four in March, and the Musketeers are one of them.
No question, as Matasovic hits both. 79-60-12 for Matasovic. Inside 6 minutes left in the second half, and Bullock just continues to add to his season high 29.
Just way too easy for Rodney Bullock right now.
With a 21-point lead. And nicely done by Alex Watson behind the arc to hit the three-pointer with a 21-point lead. Now it's down to 18, but with an 18-point lead and the injuries this team has gone through, Bullock fires away again. This one no good, though. How much longer do you think we'll see Bullock here tonight?
I don't think too much longer. It's going to be a matter of who Ed Cooley wants to put in. He's looked down there a couple of times. The problem is a lot of guys are in black warm-ups not playing.
Talked about the injuries. Alpha Diallo not playing tonight so far. Malik White out. Kyron Cartwright out. And, of course, Emmett Holt out for the season. That's 4 of your top 8. That has to be really, really tough through the first 2 months of the season. Robinson from 3. Chris Robinson off the bench, having a strong night. He has 7.
Well, 60% of the team's offense, as Ed Cooley told us earlier at shoot-around today.
Not only that, but you get so much leadership from Cartwright, too.
That's right.
Not to mention the guy inside in Holt, who has such a big presence and can be so versatile for this team. With 6 on the shot clock, Jackson off the mark this time. Rose quickly the other way. Edwards back. Watson now doubled. Gets rid of it. Robinson taking Bullock. Matasovic using the glass. And we have a quick timeout. 81-68. Sacred Heart just continues to hang around.
And just being aggressive on the inside. I'm sure Anthony Latino would have liked to see more possessions like that earlier. We still have 4 minutes left in Friartown, and the Pioneers, give them credit, still battling the Friars.
Time for our game reset, sponsored by SoFi. Reset your finances.
Well, Ed Cooley's gotten not just Rodney Bullock to step up here tonight, he's gotten other guys involved as well, but Bullock for sure has led the way. Big time performance. The Pioneers, not just enough perimeter spark.
The 10 threes tie a season high for the Friars, as not only are they looking for win number 9, but to close out non-conference play on a high note. They were picked to finish 4th in the preseason in the Big East, as Jackson short on the turnaround. And with all the injuries they've had, do you still think that standing holds up?
Well, you know, like Ed Cooley says, listen, we may not be one of the top 4 right now, but if we get healthy, continue to just trust in the system and build our chemistry, it's where you're playing in mid-February. But obviously, they need to stay out of the training room, get themselves healthy, and get that chemistry and flow back.
Well, I think when you looked at this team in the preseason, and of course Emmett Holt was a part of it,
no doubt,
there was so much depth and so much experience, and Rodney Bullock leading the way, and a season high with 29 tonight. But there was so much depth and experience and skill on this team that the expectations, and especially given what they've done the last 4 years, the expectations were very, very strong, and I think probably accurate. But that has changed a little here as they try to figure out what the rotations are, what roles are.
There's no question. Emmett Holt was a big part of the puzzle and a big reason why the coaches voted that way in the preseason.
And again, still plenty of time to turn this around, but it's been a long December for this team, going 2-3, and even the wins have not been easy to come by. Stony Brook by 2, and the block that time by Davon Barnett. Hone finding Barnett down low and puts it in. But you look at what they've done. They needed to get past Brown in overtime, needed to rally against Stony Brook on Sunday. They've had to work really hard for wins.
Well, they have. Listen, you could talk about squeaking them out. As Ed Cooley says, 3 or 4 of these games easily could have been losses. So we've survived. We have a few days here to enjoy the holidays, but then it truly begins.
Thursday at St. John's, and a nice pass by Hohen for Robinson. And Robinson with a terrific night off the bench. He has rarely played this season, and so far tonight with 9 points off the bench. This is the closest this game has been this half right now. A 12-0 run.
Doesn't feel like a 9-point game, but beautiful textbook basketball, Princeton style.
Well, Sacred Heart has certainly not gone away quietly. It is a 9-point lead for the Friars now, and a nice run here for the Pioneers.
Listen, give them credit. I mean, they've dealt with a big-time offensive performance by Rodney Bullock. Size advantages for the Friars at multiple positions, not just in the post, but on the perimeter. Some dreadful perimeter shooting stretches behind the arc, and they have stayed within shouting distance.
It's the closest it's been since a little more than 2 minutes into the game when it was 11-2. So with 2:25 left, Anthony Latina's crew trying to keep this competitive right here and try to build on this second half performance. It was a tough first half for this team that missed 10 of its first 11 shots. Providence has gone very quiet from the field, missing its last 7 right now. Here's Bullock, who's quadruple team. Boy, how about the zone just collapsing on him?
You need to. You better try to take it away, pressure the passer, but more importantly, have red jerseys to the inside in terms of help side defense.
Bullock with 4 on the shot clock, in and out. The rebound to Lindsay, and Lindsay goes right back up with it. Bullock, an opportunity for a 3rd time, and he finally puts it in.
When Lindsay got the long offensive rebound, Ed Cooley screaming, "What are you doing? Kick it back out and use the shot clock." But then Bullock to the inside, he said, "Go up, big fella."
Hohen banks in the 3. So again, the Pioneers continue to hang around with just over a minute and a half left. He has 11. 83-75.
Well, Rich, it is the holiday season.
Absolutely. That was a gift. But we talked about how much longer we would see Bullock, especially with the way Sacred Heart has played. This has to be.
Well, the bank is not open on Friday night before Christmas. But it is the holiday giving season, Mr. Ackerman.
Figured maybe, you know, people want to make some more withdrawals.
Oh, ATMs are open, but we're talking about the bank.
Here comes Hohen with a chance to cut it down to as little as 5. One more time over Bullock, and that one was short and rebounded by Watson.
How about that? Would have made it 5 with a minute 20.
Lindsay, and he's fouled by Barnett.
To think what we've seen here in 39 minutes, that bucket could have made it a 2-possession game, is scary.
Well, again, give credit to Anthony Latina's Sacred Heart Pioneers. They have played hard throughout. They haven't always been successful, especially early in the first half. But ever since about midway through that first half, as Lindsay hits his first free throw attempt of the night, but ever since that midway point of the first half, this team has looked much more comfortable.
Yes.
And as we mentioned, something to build on is Lindsay hits a pair.
Couldn't get that flow going early for sure.
Barnett watched by Bullock. And Bullock got a piece of that one.
Play hard all you want. Everything changes when shots drop.
Tonight, it's college basketball. The Las Vegas Classic as Nevada and Southern Illinois tip off at 11 Eastern. Then action continues tomorrow with a doubleheader starting at 8:30. It's all on FS1 or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Isaiah Jackson, who has had a terrific night in all facets of the game, just comes up short there on the free throw.
But he gave great minutes. One of two, especially second half for Ed Cooley at both ends. Saw him, he's so active defensively, and then he was such a factor offensively, both out of the half court and in transition.
And Hohen is fouled. Jackson with 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. As Hohen will go to the line.
They've been switching a lot of this all night. Hohen able to split the defense there and get by the 2 defenders up top.
Hohen now in double figures in 5 straight games. A 70% free throw shooter, and Bullock with the rebound. Inside a minute left. The game started with a 3-pointer from Rodney Bullock, and the Friars haven't looked back since. Bullock with his second career 30-point game. He has 31, 5 off his career high. So coming up next for Providence will be the Big East opener at St. John's. Boy, that's a tough way to open the conference. St. John's, Creighton on the road, and then Marquette and Xavier.
Chris Mullen's team's playing really well at Carnesecca.
Very, very well.
In Queens right now, they have shot blocking, they have guard play.
Woo. Jackson put an exclamation point on his terrific night. 17 points. And the steal by Edwards, and now they'll just dribble it out. And Edwards picked up his dribble. He needs some help. As Jackson brings it across in the final seconds, tick away as Ed Cooley and the Providence Friars go to 9-4. Once again, the final, Providence over Sacred Heart 89-75. We'll be back with the Providence coach when we come back.